Kenya-Kwisha was informing or was attracting a lot of crowd just because of the Hazara Fund and how they are promising them that they are going to do the bottom up. In any case, what we are finding now, it is up bottom. Because since they started, the government is got in power, what we are seeing now is those people on top are benefiting, while the people below, those hustlers, the real hustlers, are not benefiting from nothing. The Hustler Fund itself, actually, I would say, is a shyrock, is another shyrock thing that was made by Ruto and his government. Is a shyrock that they give you money. What did they use? They told them that you get the money you get, you fill in your forms and everything else. You give your PIN number. And I'll tell you something, I'll remind you something here, because I do not know whether people who are saying they are not going to pay, the thing you are told to do is that when you are taking this loan, you have to give your PIN on the filling the forms. So they have already given their PIN. So I don't see how they are not going to pay this. But in the first place, people were not told they are going to be given. They are going to be given just 500. They were told you fill your form and you'll be told how much money you get. But people came to realize I'm not the only one who got the 500. The other one got the 500, and when they continue talking, they realize everybody else got the 500, less the 25, meaning you are paying your interest before even you get your loan. And this loan probably it will be paid in one way or the other. What is happening now? People who are in diaspora, in UK, US, wherever place you are, when you are sending money to any person who has got this funds, that loan, I hear it's being deducted, but somehow you not know how they are deducting it. I have not met somebody who has done it, but this is what's going to happen. But being the government that we know that they are never clean, and they are always after. In fact, we have realized what I've realized myself, and I think most of us will agree with me, that this government is not really wanting any answer around. They were talking, that was a business talking because they wanted votes. But the moment they got the power, they don't want to hear anything concerning Hasla. Because if they did, really, what we should be hearing now is the packet of unga is 70. First thing, because the person who is suffering is the Hasla. I want to talk so much, but I want to go back to my friend. There's a guy, is now away. There's a guy who talked about, we needed to talk about the inflation side of vitu zimekuwa ghali sana, kwa hivyo tutaweza we can be able to attract other people even from Kenya-Kwisha. I will say this, our most important thing at this time, whether we are selling, everybody is selling in the same boat. That is okay. But people who wanted to follow us will follow us. What we are after this time is to clear the mess. And I said earlier, we are going to set a pace. And this pace is not about how people are struggling at the moment. We want the correct person who was elected by Kenyans to take the space where it demands is what do you call it? It demands its victory. We are talking about a victory. We wanted to hold hands and talk about the victory. Whoever, like now we have seen the person who has come up with the whistleblower has come up with, if this information that we got from the whistleblower as something tangible, something that can give us mwelekeo, we are following that. Other things will follow, but we are not going for what is at the economic will sort itself when we sort what is at our hand now. When we sort our victory, when we sort that which has been out now, which we didn't know in 2022. What I wanted to talk just a bit about the colonial. My brother, I think there's a Kenyan with love has talked about the colonial. I talked about that earlier, but I'll talk a bit about the division, about Africa, division that we were given by our colonizers. The colonizers who came and divided Africa. And this is why you can hear, and Rhoda, sorry, I'm not in fact talking about tribe, but I'll touch just a bit. That's why Rhoda or anybody else will say, I am Kikuyu, I am Luo, I am so and so, and I'm proud to be who I am. I want us to stop that, and if we can start talking, I am a Kenyan, and I am proud to be a Kenyan. Let's talk like Kenyans. We are Kenyans. We are proud to be Kenyan. This division of this tribe and the other tribe, let us first of all forget about that. If you wanted to fight, we can only fight when we are all Kenyans, and whether we are proud to be wherever we are, we wanted to be Kenyans at this time and fight as Kenyans. Because if we talk about our president, that is Raila Odinga, is a Luo. But if we talk about is a Luo, he has been elected everywhere in Kenya, everywhere indeed in Kenya. If we go back to the where Ruto got elected, in fact atakuwa tu hapo area hiyo ya kwao ndio walipata voti nyingi sana, lakini ukienda pale utapata kidogo pale, but in the reality is all Kenyans that elected. And if we can have that everybody is a Kenyan, and I'm going back to Africa, this is the same thing. Colonization ilikuja ikatuonyesha wewe ni mkabila gani na wewe ni mkabila gani, na wakaacha kama wamepanda hiyo, tukawa na hiyo kabila yetu na tukakaa tukiwa proud of who we are na kabila. This is the same thing they did to Africa, and this is the thing. We are going to have from Kenya, we are going to have something called a snowball. A snowball coming from Kenya. Let's start there. And it will roll to African, because we need to have one Africa. We need to have this Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania. We need to have that snowball, and it's starting from Kenya. First of all, we wanted to wipe this business of tribes. We wanted to have one Kenya. And this is one Kenya. We'll start with Azimio. We wanted to bring Azimio with one Kenya. Not that I'm a Kamba, I'm a Meru, I'm a whatever, I'm a Embu, whatever, I'm a Luo, whatever. I want us to have that one Kenya. The moment we start with the one Kenya, we will be able to bring everybody. In fact, when we get one Kenya, even that one who is there with this tribalism will come to us, because we have become one. So this is very important, and we needed to stand there. About the colonial division or colonial demarcation, the ones they did with the Africa, and then they came to Kenya, and they went to Nigeria. This Nigeria became, there is those tribes, I can't remember them just now, but they did that purposely. Why? Kenyan with Love talked about where the we got the independence, yes, but we are never free. This is something we talked about earlier, that we are never free, because every time somebody has to be stamped from those colonial people, they have to stamp that this person. Okay. All right. I'm just about to finish, Rhoda. I'm just saying, just about to finish, Rhoda, and then you can ask me. I'm just saying, these things of colonialism, it will not end until ourselves. Can I say something? Just small thing about ourselves, loving ourselves. Kama kuna mtu amesikiza Mr. Melema, I listen to Melema because I like him so much. He's from South Africa. I think most of you know Melema. Melema talks about we African being hated, and the people who are here from diaspora can confirm to that. We are hated everywhere. But the other thing is we hate ourselves. We hate ourselves. We are hated, but we hate ourselves. Do you know what happens? The colonial people came and they planted that. We started hating ourselves, and they are very happy, because when we fight ourselves, then they are able to fight us. Because sijui kama ni Kiswahili kinasema watu wakiwa wanapigana, it is easy. It's this kind of divide and rule. because already you are divided. When somebody else comes, ataweza kuwaweza, sababu already we are divided. So let's come together and let's do what we need to do here, and let us have tuwe na mwelekeo. Pole, karibu nimalize. Tuwe na mwelekeo moja, si huyu anasema tunataka hivi, tunataka hivi. Tuongee na tushikane, tuwe na mwelekeo moja. Asante sana, and thank you Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that presentation. Mzalendo, was just waking you up, and you've just woken up at the right time. So, Rhoda, what is it? No, just ask what is it.
I don't agree with the Mama Kibao.
Okay.
You know why? Because this is about tribe. Do you know how many tribes live in Afghanistan? Do you know how many tribes live in Afghanistan? Many. Do you know how many tribes in India? Many. Do you know how many live in Iran? Many. It's not only Kenya we have a tribe. So we must love ourselves, the tribe we come from. We cannot. I cannot apologize. Me myself, I'm a Kikuyu.
Let me
Great me. I'll never apologize to any Ruto.
Summarize that, Rhoda. Let me summarize that. Let us hear different voice. Then we are going to bring that on as a topic, where we are going to look at the effects of maybe having different tribes, how it affects people economically and maybe politically. We'll get one day and discuss that one as a topic. Let me welcome Zalendo, maybe to give his submission.
Well, I like what the lady has just said about being united as Kenyans and not thinking on tribal lines. But I think it's coming late in the day, because what we realize in Kenya, if the politics is not favoring your tribe, then we are Kenyans. We are joined as Kenyans. But I want to say this. We live in Europe, others live in America. You can see how Kenyans are divided. They have formed small communities. The Luos have formed their community in wherever they live. The Kikuyus have got their own community. Despite being in a first world country. So first of all, we have failed to practice it ourselves. Some of these things are more theoretical. People talk about a lot of theory, but not practicality. Tribe is something that we can't just easily wish it away, but we can use it positively. We can use tribe positively. I remember when we were growing up, and I didn't grow up in the colonial days, so that for me to say that the Mzungu divided me, I used to have my lunch with the Kikuyu. I used to have my lunch around other tribes, and we never knew, even to date. I wouldn't call my friend a Kikuyu. I would call him by his name. It is politics that brings tribalism in Kenya. It is politics. So our politics is about tribe. So let us cleanse our politics. So if we clean our politics and think of leaders who are going to unite Kenya on ideologies and not tribe, not me going to my central Kikuyu tribe and getting the voting block there, or me going to my Rift Valley tribe and getting the voting block in Rift Valley, and me going to my Nyanza tribe and getting the voting block in Nyanza. Politicians have put it rightly that, and they call it the tyranny of numbers. I don't know, Rhoda, whether you know the tyranny of numbers and what it means. So that is exactly what brings tribalism. When leaders start using slogans like kumira kumira, things like that, mujitokoleze, and you start identifying yourself as, as a tribe. That is what divides our country. But there is a generation we are doing away with it right now. There's a generation that grew up in those tribal inclinations. We will do away with it, but it will be gradual. There is a gentleman who was here earlier, Torotich. Torotich, you mentioned something about Mutembei TV being a revolutionary TV, and we need to stick to the point that brings us in this show. Meaning, what you are saying in short is that people like me who have got divergent views should be kicked out, and you stick to the views that you are propagating. I want to tell you that this is an international TV, and it is a channel that is not only entertaining, but it is also educating so many people. And it is not only about Kenyan politics that we talk about. So many people have learned a lot of things on this channel, things in IT, things that people didn't even know, things in social life, things in culture. We have learned it through this channel. So kicking out people is not something that I personally would advocate. And as a media should be free. This is the fourth estate, and the fourth estate should be viewed as, the fourth eye of what is happening in our country. But if you want your views, like the Azimio point of view, like it was before, then some of us will not be invited in this particular show, unfortunately, because we have got very parallel views from some of the topics. And maybe some people learn in some submissions. And it's very, very important that we view things in a more progressive way, such that, like today, it's news to me that Gaucho was arrested. I didn't know that Gaucho was arrested today. I just learned it on Mutembei TV. So you can imagine how many people throughout the world have already known that news from Mutembei TV that Gaucho has indeed been arrested. And Audi put it very, very clearly and soberly, like, when you come to this channel, know that there are things that you can say and there are things that you can go off completely. You can't come to this channel and say, I will kill somebody and I need to kill him now, things like that. You can't say it on a channel like this one. So, Mr. Chairman Leo, sometimes we need to regulate some of these things. When lastly, people were talking about the ASLA fund. I think 10 billion has already been dispatched to various people. We said it from the beginning that this thing was not managed properly. Ruto has organized a team from Treasury, a team from microfinance companies to see the management of the fund in the next phase. And some people went to court. That issue is being addressed right now. There will be an office that will be running that particular fund for particular fund. And lastly, there's a projection of the economy growing by 6.1%. That is a projection by economists, not a projection by Mzalendo. That's a projection by economists that Kenya economic growth in 2023 will be at 6.1%. These are figures that economists are playing around with, and they have said that the economy of Kenya will bounce back. Yeah, in COVID, we bounced back a bit. Then there was a lot of politics. Then the economy went down by almost 0.5%. then now it is bouncing back, and hopefully by 2023, by the end of the year, we'll be talking something else. The economy is going to bounce back, and Kenya is on the right path. Thank you, Leo.
Oh, thank you. But even though I agree with you on some things, there's some issues we don't agree. Like your last statement is really in contention that Kenya is in the right track. I don't believe that is true. Then maybe an economy. I'm not an economist, but when you talk of the economy growing, economists can sit down and come up with numbers, what make their projections. But what about the common mwananchi? What accounts to them that the economy is growing? If today you go and tell those people who are in the village that the economy has grown and they still buy things at higher prices, not only buying at higher prices, they are not able to afford those prices, then I think they'll really cry for bay for your blood, because what you're saying will not make sense to them. If you tell me that the economy have grown and the price of unga maybe is 300, it will only make sense if I'm able to afford that 300. But if I'm not able to afford that 300, I don't think you're right to tell me the economy is growing. So I'll allow Wakanda forever. I think he's having a question. He doesn't have history of maybe disobedience. So let me allow him to ask a question. Mr. Wakanda.
Yes, I've been here before, so Moses, Audi again, but yeah, just for purposes of this charge, I'll be using that name. So Zalenda has talked about the economy, and I was like, how do you say even that economy will grow in the midst of a global inflation? How do you grow that economy? It means that tourists will not be coming to Kenya. So you are losing a lot of money. And in the midst, as we speak, in terms of even agriculture, you look at how much do we export right now when we are begging for a country like Russia and Ukraine to feed Kenya, countries which are at war. So I'm wondering how we will earn, how we'll trade with the rest of the world and earn the foreign exchange. Yeah, when we are not producing anything at the moment and the global inflation. So the idea of economy growing, I think that is propaganda, 100%. Yeah, my opinion though. Yeah.
I know when Mzalendo tells you the economy is bouncing, he will not explain to you beyond that.
No,
I remember before, maybe I allow him to respond, when the late Magoha was CS education, there's at a point when he said that I am a CS, my boss is the president, I take instructions from the president and report to the president. So he simply meant that he was advancing the policy, the ideas, and the programs of the government by then. So if the government maybe had some wrong policies, then he will advance such policies. So the good thing is that as a part of the policy formulators, part of the policy implementers, they advise the government well, and that is why they are advancing some positive policies. So Mzalendo here is also advancing the policies of Kenya Kwanza. So that is why he can come and tell you that the economy is bouncing back. But when you meet him now, when you now remove that cape of Kenya Kwanza, he will agree with you that even he himself doesn't understand what he said about the economy. So maybe before I bring the next speaker, I can see there is somebody, Calvin Kireta. Before I welcome him to give us his submission and pay tribute to the late Magoha, allow me play maybe a video that will take us only 2 minutes. I have 2 clips here.
Will remain etched in our history for many more cabinet secretaries that will come after me, the main thing that I advise them is not to drop the ball in safeguarding the integrity of our national examinations. They must keep intact the trajectory of examination reforms that we have put in place.
That was Professor Magoha. I think it was when he was giving his last, was it the last speech, and he was really advising the next cabinet secretary to keenly check on the quality of education, which starts with the quality of examination and the awarding system. So after that, this is what
our students, and failure to which we will start impeaching people in this house. We don't want to joke with the lives of our students, our people, of the poor in the constituency. It is pure balderdash to come and entertain nonsensical, comical, and ridiculous activities being done here while our people are suffering. I know what it means to lack school fees. Most of these members are here because they were helped to study. We have to help, to lend a hand. We are servants of the people and we will serve. This meeting will stop until money is put in our accounts. There? That PS, he has no information. Because when he came to request us to proceed with the meeting, and he has no solution. He is not part of the solution. He is part of the problem. And they ought to have projected ahead the money that was supposed to be given to us. We have only 4 months remaining to the end of this financial year. We've not been paid anything for our people in the constituency. We can't do anything in the constituency. But the most important thing first is to get bursaries for our people. It is not about the government being broke because they collect taxes on a daily basis. Whatever they collected yesterday and today, we need that money for the students to go. They collect 7 billion per day. We need that money in CDF accounts so that we give to our constituents.
Okay. Okay. We want to tell.
So the government of Kenya Kwanza collects 7 billion a day. The money that is supposed to be used in paying a school fee in form of the bursary has not been deposited in the CDF account. Mato, sorry, Kenyan with the love, your hands are up. Rod, I've seen you. I'm coming back to you. Don't worry. I also want us to be fair enough so that we don't deny other people also opportunity to give their views. Maybe somebody might talk for 1 hour, and when we give the other person an opportunity, people who really wanted to listen or to hear from him or her might have had their internet cut off or their bundles over, so they end up not getting from them. So we better speak maybe shortly and allow each other to speak as we go in turn so that people can be able to consume from each and every one of us. Kenyan with love, what do you want to say? You want to say something about the video?
I want to ban your studio today. Allow me to put some propane and I don't know, petrol and everything in your studio today. I'm going to burn it. Nauma kabisa.
Why are you going to burn the studio?
Because just what I'm about to say, I know I want to burn it. I just know it's going to be burnt. And I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I'm going to burn your studio today. Unfortunately, yes, or fortunately, yes, I'm an Azimio person, I'm an ODM Damu, and I'm a pro, constitutionalist and everything that I do, and, and all that. But I am going to say this one. I
what Babu Owino is fighting there for, they should never have it. I don't believe in the money that they are fighting for. It's been used by so many people and so many MPs, misused so much that we forget we have devolution. Devolution pays for all that. They're fighting for this money they're asking for. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm against that. Poleni, na mimi mtu azimio, mimi mtu pro kila kitu, but I'm telling you, I don't believe in it. I think the county government, the devolution that we had, if we're really going to, accept our constitution and actually respect our constitution, I don't think that if you are a lawmaker, that you should have a fund of going to take bursaries, taking to kids and whatever. That bursary, kwanza, that bursary money is used so bad, and that's why we don't have public servants anymore. But we have people, the waheshimiwas that you call. I mean, you've been there elected to go make laws, but instead of making laws, you're going kunenda kujenga chores shule gani, whatever. You should not be making any chores. You wachia governor or even MCA. Even MCAs shouldn't be doing it. The people that are given the development fund are the ones who are supposed to do that, develop. If your job, you've been given a job to go and be
I think we are losing that gentleman, though I'm also in agreement to what he's saying, and I've always maintained it in this show that CDF should not be given to MPs. They not only misuse it, but this thing called CDF is the reason why we are having people who are not serious in that parliament. If you look at the current parliament, we are having comedians. I'm not saying comedians are like, now I'm not talking about those people who are comedians that have been elected there. They are comedians in their actions. We are having people who are just jokers in that parliament. We are having people who don't know the main role of the parliament, and the parliament has lost its meaning. If you compare the last two parliaments, you'll find that the Senate was making more sense than the National Assembly. Yet the National Assembly, constitutionally and maybe the weight of its role, gives it an upper hand compared to the Senate. Senate ni kama nyumba ya wazee, but Senate was making more sense. I was trying to ask myself, why is it that this Senate is making more sense compared to the National Assembly? Could it be that they elect quality people in the Senate? That Senate, when we had people like Senator James Orengo, we had Senator Sakaja, Senator Mtula Kilonzo, people like Kiraitu Murungi and Anyang' Nyong'o. So I came to realize that the only difference is in Senate, there is no fund for these senators. So these people totally concentrate in the role of a senator. They totally concentrate in making laws. Our current parliament cannot make good laws. They cannot oppose bad laws because they know at the end of the day, these citizens are not going to judge them by the roles of the parliament or the roles of the MP, but what will determine the election is this thing called CDF. And our people, because of ignorance, they fail to understand that we have what is called CDF committee. So if CDF is well managed by that committee, you are able to see priorities being taken care of. And if you look at what happened in Kibera when they had the late Ken Okoth, that guy was in the hospital for about more than 3 years. And by the time he was away, Kibera CDF was the best managed in among the constituencies that we had in Kenya. But the guy was never there. So that is enough to tell our people that the role of an MP is not to manage that CDF. The role of an MP is not to come and build and renovate those toilets and decorate them with their names. Somebody's building a toilet that is worth 30,000 and putting a billboard, a metallic billboard, when the toilet itself, they put a wooden door. So if they can scrap away this CDF and we put it, add the amount to the county government, and we have some good governors, I think the MPs will be able to know their work. If you go to the parliament currently, if you remove that CDF, 80% of the current MPs will not make it. They will not be re-elected, because imagine you've elected an MP who've never talked in the floor of the house. Laws are made in parliament. Laws are not made in funeral. So that is the day you'll not have people like Oscar Sudi. I'm sorry to say that. You'll not have those other jokers that you see in parliament, because the parliament will remain a serious house of business. And what is the effect of having this rogue people? These people, we elect them because maybe they manage CDF in the area CDF was working, but when they go to parliament, they fail in their duty. That is why they're being bribed with 10,000 shillings in the toilet, and they're turned into voters. So there are people who vote yes and no. They don't reason, they don't debate, they only attend those debates when it touches on their political or party leaders, or these debates when it touches on their salaries and allowances. Are you aware that I think the last 2 days, Ruto signed into the law this thing called the IBC Act, or IBC, something like that. But now we never saw our MPs talking of it. But you'll find them in our very, very rallies, including our own Azimio MPs, telling us how Ruto should not be involved directly in appointing the new IBC. And this law was passed in parliament. We never saw them. They were busy doing their own things. And now, once it has been signed into law, because even Ruto knows very well, or anybody who's a president knows very well, these MPs don't know their roles. They'll wait for you. They ensure their bills passes. Then you now start shouting outside there. So there are so many bills that we are getting that are not fit, simply because we are having, I don't want to call them idiots, but I will use the language of Babu Wino. Babu Wino said that 70% of the current elected leaders in parliament are stupid. And it is true, they are stupid. 70% of them are stupid. They don't know their role. Their role is to make good laws, oppose bad laws, amend the existing laws, impeach the president, and impeach the deputy president. If they cannot do that, then they are not fit to be in that parliament. I think the next thing, once done with the president or the deputy president, we should now shift focus and cleanse or sanitize that parliament by removing these people. We elect people, you normally see them in the funerals. They like creating scenes and creating some drama, and they keep on telling you they are working by taking several photographs, and you think they're now working. That is wrong. So in that case, I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you. But another thing that Mzalendo, you will have to tell us, the government, your government is collecting 7 billion a day. Where is this money taken to? I know the legislators cannot lie. We can lie here, but the legislators cannot lie.
Can I say something?
Yes, I respond to that. Yes.
You know, Babu, it is interesting that Babu will cause such drama and say that the government is collecting 7 billion, yet his salary is about 1-point-something million. His mileage allowance alone is another 1 million, and he commutes only between Parliament and Makasi, and he gets some illegal money. These are legislators, we pay them to go to work. Do you know somebody you pay to go to work? Imagine Leo today, you get a job, then your employer tells you, since you are doing very essential duty, we'll be giving you salary plus. We'll be waking you up in the morning and bringing you to work and paying you for that commuter allowance each and every time. Yeah. These are the guys who get house allowance of 250,000. I don't know if it is 300,000 each and every month in terms of rent. They also get a mortgage. But nobody questions that if a leader is re-elected, they are still entitled for the same mortgage. They are still entitled for the same kind of treatment. They are overpaid. You know why they are fighting for the CDF? Because that is just as Leo has put it, the CDF has become the standard measure of electing a leader. They come with that money, they bribe the voters in the name of, I gave you a check to take your kids to school and I did it properly. So how much will they use when they are giving out those checks? Less than 10,000. The maximum amount that a child gets is probably 5K in each and every constituency. Then they have paraded almost about maybe 2,000 people to get 5,000, and they get 100. Is it 200 million or 250 million every financial year for 5 years? That is a billion. Akimaliza term yake ameenda na a billion. That is why they are united this time round to eat that particular money. And Mwananchi, if you are the watchdog, then we should talk more about this CDF, that it should not come back. If it is going to come back, then it should come back in a proper manner. Let it be controlled in a proper manner and dispatched in a proper way.
I think, sorry.
Thank you. Wakanda?
Yeah, sorry, guy. Yeah, sorry. I unmuted when I needed to wait. I disagree 100% with Mzalendo and my fellow colleagues. The last point that Mzalendo has said is that we should focus on the CDF. That is a wrong perspective, because if our focus is on CDF, how much is CDF, by the way? Let's say 100 million for 290 constituencies. Yeah. So if we are going to put our energy on that, and then we are leaving the national budget for President Ruto 7 billion, we will not ignore 7 billion and start talking about peanuts. So if we put our energy on, because in the end of the day, we are talking about corruption, be it national, county.
Maybe it's Banawakanda, just to put things straight. Zalendo's response was not in connection to what we're discussing, maybe to deal with our Kamkunjis, whatever. Mzalendo was simply responding to specifically restricting himself to the video that we played. So he was just giving an opinion on this CDF thing, because it is something that has always been happening here.
That is what I'm responding to.
It is independently and specific to the video. So don't generalize.
No, I'm not generalizing, sir. I'm talking about him talking about we need to focus about CDF and what's not going on properly, like how much the MPs are using, how much, like the MPs earn about 1 billion maybe by the end of their time or after 1 year. That's in my response. Is that we will not ignore the percentage that is being managed by national government. In this case, the percentage that is being managed by Ruto, and focus on MPs. That one we will not do. Because if you look at how much, in terms of financing, how much the national government manages, it's a lot. So for me, that is my point of disagreement, that if the national government is still mismanaging the national funds, so let's agree that the problem we have here is corruption. So if they devolve some of the money to the counties or to our MPs, I have no problem. But if we have everything at the national level, we make it more easy for them to buy our MPs left, right, and center. That's my silly argument.
All right, Mato, I know you did not finish. I'll give you time to finish. Then there is Kenyan Amani. Then I'll give Rhoda some 3 minutes to give her closing remarks because I know she wants to give. So Mato, as you are finalizing on that issue of CDF, let me also tell you that the same CDF, there's something that happens back at the constituencies that is funny. Your MP organizes some sporting activities or like a tournament. Let's say they call it a Kilonzo. Kilonzo is your MP. Kilonzo tournament during the December holidays. The tournament will run maybe for 3 days or maybe 2 is a day's time. So people from that constituency, let's say, for example, Kadhiani constituency, you will attend the tournament, you will play, run, and do everything. And remember, before these finals, you normally use a lot of money, a lot of time is spent there. Then after that, these people will be given some balls each per team. You know, that ball is around 3,000 or 2,500. They are going to put on the jerseys, and maybe the winning team is going to be given 20,000. There's something you don't ask yourself. There were 16 teams. You know, these 16 teams, the same MPs, the one who comes with the jerseys they used to play. These jerseys, they bought them from their own shops or from their own friend's shop. Nyinyi pale Kadhiani, vijana hata badala mungeambiwa tataka kuwa na tournament, nyinyi ndio mtasupply jersey ama mpewe hii pesa muende msupply jersey, nyinyi amkuli. Pale kwa budget watandika walinunua jersey like 1K, wanasema kitu moja maybe ni like 2,000 This money still goes back to their pocket. Amejua mzalendo ni rafiki yake. Mzalendo anauzanga huwa na export some jersey. Ama kuna rafiki pale Isili. They go get these jerseys pesa na anambia mzalendo hii jersey najua ni Isili ni 500 lakini sisi tutapiga hapo na kila jersey kwa 2,000. Ninyi mnafurahia ndio mbunge ameleta tournament, mmecheza tournament, group imepewa 20,000, coaches pia saa zingine alikuwa ni mtu anatoka kijiji kingine amehepa na hii pesa na hiyo imeisha na nyinyi bado mnapiga makofi mbunge. That is how serious things are back in the village. So Mato, let me give you the first. You are talking katika juu ya network ndio Calvin's respond.
Yeah, naona nimevamiwa, sijui kama mnanisikia saizi.
Tunakusikia sasa.
Unfortunately, itabidi ni change my VPN. I had it in another different country because I've been running away from this. Lakini unajua nini? Hii kitu ndio maana nimesema I don't care if it's Babu or Wino that says that is on our side or whatever. Mimi Azimio mtu kabisa, mimi ni mtu ya ODM. Like I don't care if it's Azimio person that says I love my country. Listen, CDF is also another Ponzi scheme. Now, if you listen to it, Mr. Chair, everyone that is listening to me, if you heard what they were talking, even including that Babu, they were saying, unless pesa imewekwa kwa account, ni account gani inawekwa? Account yetu ama yao? Na ni pesa gani inawekwa? Ni account gani inawekwa hii? Je, lazima pesa iwekwe ndio tutaenda kuongea? You know, the thing is that and we need to do civil education, and that's what I keep on saying, Mr. Chair, with all due respect and with everyone. You see, we need to understand what is called public funds and public servants and all that. Because that public, you see, pesa unaitisha kama nani? Nene kwa account gani? Hebu tuambie account, because we need to have the account. It should be a public thing that we can go and say tuoneshe ili tumika aje. So now when you're saying unless pesa imekuwa kwa account yetu ndio tutaenda kupitisha hii, and you're also the same person saying that we need to, you know, make our electoral system right and make our country right, then for me it beats the whole game of everything that is supposed to happen. An MP, go look at the Constitution. An MP is a lawmaker. You don't make laws with money that has been given to you. You see, it's not even there in the Constitution. You're being paid get your salary, go home. Go make the laws of the country. Kama wewe ni MCA, and uka make laws za penal codes za hiyo area yenye unakaa. Lipwa. And it's very true what you just said. And I'm going to say it. Hata mimi nishikuwa mahali tu, I was in a place, nikaambiwa we unakaa status, ufanye hivi, tafuta bags kadhaa hivi, zitatoka hivi, nitakupatia hivi, na how much and whatever. I won't say by who. And I just said, I don't think that's the way to go around it. Yes, I could have gotten the money, but at the time I just said it's no, staki, itazaningiza mahali. Another one was a KQ thing that I was given. Nikasema we, na ikianza kuingia sijui ati nianze kuinvestigatiwa, because in my life, when you have kids and you have a kid and na vitu kama hizo, you don't want to start going to jail or answering things na vitu kama hizo. So for me, you can call me a coward if you want me, call me a coward. But yes, I was given a very lucrative deal to do something with the Kenyan government. We hata niko na ufungua nini account yenye tu nasema uko na nini, uko na company huku, we'll give you everything. And at that time I was just like, I'm not going to put myself into this. I'm okay where I am. Wacha nipigana maisha yangu venye iko. But you see, now this is what happens, what you just said. That CDF is never used for what it is. I can give you 3-4 examples that I have, that I know some people went to school somewhere and they were getting money. Hiyo nini, what do we call it? Iya kulipia watoto shule, bursary. And when they moved, the bursary kept on going. Because if I'm the MP, how are you going to know that the kid is still not in the country? It kept on going. So where does it go? Goes to the pocket of the MP. I do not believe any MP should have any kind of bursary of doing anything. No, we do not choose them. It's not in their job prescription to go build toilets and schools. It's for them to go make the laws that are going to be govern. At MCAs, they should never get that.
They should never get.
Watch here, the county government. That's why we had devolution. Now watch here, the government to do that. Hii story ingine ati mnatuambia hapa, go do what your job prescription does say that you need to do. So mimi, I don't stand with Babu Owino. Unfortunately, hata kama mimi ni mtu wa ODM, I don't stand with him. Na hiki tu anauliza, nataka mniambie hapa Mr. Chair, na kila mtu mwenye ako hapa, ni account gani yenye anasema, if you watch the whole video, until hiyo pesa ingie kwa account, ni account gani anataka ingie? Is it an account of an MP? What account is it? And why do we have devolution? Why did we bring devolution? So these guys, let them go make the laws. If you want to be a governor, go be a governor. Then at least you'll have the budget. But as a lawmaker, make the laws. And that's what, as Africa, we need to start understanding the leaders. And that's why you're finding people coming from very lucrative job careers, going into there because they just want the money. Wanatumia pesa mingi because na wakishindwa wanaanza kujinyonga. We need to understand what public service is. And we also need to be accountable. Hii pesa yote tunatoaga. Anyone should be able to walk in a mayor's, what used to be a mayor or a governor's office and say, I want to know how much the budget you guys used last year, and what it is, and I want to see what everyone was paid, and this is the budget that we have. Let me see the breakdown. We need to start doing that. And I'm telling you, there's countries that are doing that, and they are progressing. But us as an Africa, we will never progress because we want to do the Mheshimiwa thing, and everything is secretive, including wealth. Inatoka nini? Where you going to say what your wealth is and how much you are worth. Including that, unaambiangu ati it's sealed, imepewana kwa parliament. Always honor. As a civil servant, we should be able to see everything. What you got paid, how you got paid, what's the budget of that, and what happened. And unless we do that, then we have no accountability of our country. And that's why people can steal elections and tell you, utadu. Anyway, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Let us get 1 minute from Kevin, then we give an opportunity to Aurora wants to give closing remarks, then we go to Asembo Pacho. So Kevin, you have your 1 minute.
Yeah, hii bado nauliza kwa moderator. Jaribu kulimit time za watu wasiongee sana mpaka wengine. It's like 2 people. Jaribu kulimit hata kama ni dakika mbili katakata ndio everybody to talk. Waachie wenye wanataka kuingia pia nafasi. So, kwa hiyo video umecheza ndio niko na swali kwa Mato. Mato, hii basari wangani ya gava. Unanipata?
Sorry, nini yangu ina take time kabla ya unmute. Unajua mute immediately. Ati unauliza?
Nauliza hii basari wangani ya gava.
Yes, ni pesa ya gava. Kwani nadhani inatoka?
Na shule ni ya gava pia.
Exactly.
Sasa gava inakupea pesa ulipe government tena. Yaani ni nini wanajaribu kufanya na hiyo basari?
Ndio lazima watu waanze kuelewa civil education. Ndio tumekosa bwana.
So inabidi unajua Kenya matime nasikianga watu wanaargue mpaka najiuliza ni mimi ndio mjinga ama sioni hao watu vizuri. Because kuna vitu zingine zinasangaza mazi. Alafu wenye wanaargue they have parliament. Sasa hii parliament ilikuwa ni ya nini na wanaenda kuargue pale ni soko ama ni wapi? So kuna vitu zingine mazee hata kama tunaongea it doesn't make sense. Mbona gava isipeleke hiyo pesa kwa shule direct na isaidie huko juu tayari wanajua kuna shida. Kuna wanafunzi wenye hawana pesa hawezi enda shule. So inasangaza. Nilikuwa najaribu kupeleka my daughter to school. Mazee ameenda na 29,000. Hiyo ni kuenda. Na niko na mwingine mdogo mwenye anaanza nursery ameenda na 15,000. So I was adding all this na najaribu kuangalia watu wawili wameenda na karibu 40 something. So where will they say wazazi wanawana job na wenye wana mapato ya chini kumaanisha wezi wa afford education, and then we are just quiet watching them and saying things are okay. We should be serious at some point. Zingine zinasangaza. Otherwise hiyo ndio swali nilikuwa nayo Mato.
Yeah, sijui kama nasikika. Mimi hapa nimeshambuliwa. Sijui kama nasikika.
Yeah, unasikika.
Okay. Mwenye connect kwa screen yangu imeenda black. Mwenye connect kama kuna mtu alikuwa anataka kusema kitu. Mami, tuambie ama kuna mtu hajaongea?
Ni mimi nilikuwa after him.
I think Asembo Pacho has not spoken, so let him have the chance, please.
Who? Asembo? Asembo, pole sana. Go ahead, sir. Pole nashinda nikikatwa.
Good evening, panelist. Kenya Amani, good to see you. I always come in here to learn from you. Kila Mutu Calvin, Mzalendo, Wakanda. I thought you were called Audi. Now you are Wakanda forever. Wamama Kibao, Kenyan with love. Basically, it's a sad day for Kenyans because we are mourning the professor. And one thing that is sad that I think may even have contributed to Professor's death is building a legacy. When you try to make a legacy and try to leave a mark and change lives, then a group of people don't understand what life is, come and rub it off and clean it, mess it up. It's so saddening that the professor doing his last time of Kenya was cleaning the system. He was trying to make sure that anybody that gets into education system understand what they're doing. And if you look at his remarks before, and which I agree with him, si lazima kila mtu apate A. Ukuwe na D na uingie tertiary school, upige randa, ukuwe na kitu mzuri than kupata A, uende ukuwe surgeon na ukipasua mtu, you don't understand what you're doing. So professor actually ni kama tu amekufa na heartbreak. Si hata ni hata attack, ni heartbreak tu imemua, because the system that he was trying to create and make it clean so that we understand that this is important for every child that is coming up. The people who are coming in don't know anything. They want to be praised for doing something, but they're doing it wrongly. Mine coming to the studio today is just to remind you guys why we are here and what's the main reason why we are coming to this show. Yesterday we were with the Mr. PK and we talked about the train leaving the station. Now Baba already switched this thing on. And I wanted to help my brother Audi. He was requesting if he could understand why Baba is still in this thing, and if it's a gaucho, then he can come in. I want to just to highlight some few things to Mr. Wakanda, that a revolution doesn't need young men like you only to participate in it. The revolution needs a direction, and the direction that is needed. If you're very careful and very keen, if you observe this thing from the time we cast our votes and we did the election and we came now to where we are right now, if there was somebody serious who could have taken this thing up, there was a big time for doing that, right? 4 months down the line, there was no single politician who could stand up and say, this is the direction my people need to go. Baba, you are done. We are taking this thing, this head-on. Nobody could do that. Until yesterday, when Baba said this is the direction you're heading to, and everybody were ready to take that direction. So there are people that need leadership. And that's what Baba has been doing, providing leadership. So not everybody will start the war, but people will join the war. If you go out with the friends in a club and drinking and you people see people fighting, don't just jump in the fight. You have to watch, why are we fighting and whom are we fighting? So these are the things that we need to learn. And me, basically, why I want this to happen, if you look at the government who has just come in, even the jobs that have been created, they're taking them away from people. For example, if you look at Nairobi County, the people who are doing business in Nairobi County, some are running clubs, some are running hotels, and the county government of Nairobi were issuing them licenses to operate in these neighborhoods. They didn't see that back then, that those places were residential areas that they could not give license to those places. But because now they want to show, or they want to pull a stand that they're working, they're interfering even in the jobs that have been created. These clubs that are closed down, the restaurants that have been closed down, we're having watchmen working there, we're having waiters working in there, we're having cooks and chefs working in those places, we're having people supplying these places with the food products, right? Then they come and close these jobs. Are they creating more jobs the way they promise, or are they destroying even the little that is there? So these are the things that are making Kenyans get frustrated. And when somebody is frustrated, they don't care what's happening to the neighbor. They care about what they need to get. And that's what we are going for. We are not here to discuss who voted for Ruto, which tribe voted for Ruto. No. We are here to clean the mess that has been created by system year in, year out. Whether Kale and Kalenjins and Kikuyus team up every general election to vote for their candidate, there's nothing wrong with that, people. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Whether Luos and Luyas and Kambas team up together to vote for their candidate, there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is that if the vote of the Luos and Kikuyus and Kambas come together and cannot be counted and make the leader that's selected be the president, then there's something wrong, and that's what you want to correct. This is what we're talking about here, guys. Leave alone the MPs who are complaining about a bursary and all that they want. Those are tumbocrats. And the political class and the political system in Kenya has failed us, and that's why we want Baba to say everybody to go home, so that we see them coming back again without, because all these guys, they go in there to make money. They go in there to benefit themselves. They never care about you. Right now, we're talking about cost of living going high. Have you seen them coming up and saying, now, Mr. President, we can't continue the way we are going because the cost of living has gone high? Because that is not their interest. That's not their concern. They're not bothering about that. But that CDF money is going to go to some of their pockets. Yes, some will spend them, right? Some will use them in the right direction. Some will put them properly. But majority of them are there to squander the money. And that's why they don't care what you guys are talking about. They are busy looking for how can they make money. And that's the quickest way of making money. I spend my 5 million out there during campaigns. I go into parliament. I make my 100 million. I make my 70 million. It's a business these guys are doing with our lives. Look at now the clubs being closed up. My problem right now as a social change in my country, because these are the three things that normally I come here and I talk about every day. It's the political change in a country, social change in a country, and economical change in a country. Economical change, even Baba talked about it on the day he had his speech. He mentioned the things that people, the normal monarchy is getting affected. Sugar, electricity, oil, flour, all these things, Baba mentioned them. These are affecting local mamamboga to a border. Then if you look at our social class, which I'm so sad about it, where we need to go and get directions from, look at the churches. Anybody just wakes up today, me and Mato, we just agree, and me and Kenyan with love, we just agree, you become the bishop, me I become the priest, we open a church, we put the speakers in there, we call people and start casting demons that are not even there, and we just make money. And this is where we go back and we want to get guidance from. Our social culture has been robbed. The bishops, they line up to go and be given handouts to praise people, to give people a chance in the podium to say things that don't even person with least hope in life can go to understand how can they be helped. So me, I want this revolution to even clean the churches. We take away these goons who have taken up the pulpit to brainwash people further, to tell people who is more blessed than who is not more blessed, who is more righteous, who is not more righteous. That's why this revolution is here. We are clean. It's like we're doing an overhaul for the entire country. Member of parliaments, those who are elected, the moment they arrive there and they don't find money in the group that they came in with, they jump to another group so that they can make money. Kenyan, it's going down the road that we don't want it. And if you don't correct it now, 2022, even in the future, there'll be no Kenya. And this must stop. And that's why Baba is saying we are going. And so I wanted to Wakanda forever to understand Gaucho and the group are just young men who are already there and willing to go up front. You even don't look at Baba being in the picture. Look at you as a person. How do you feel the pinch? Do you feel that this government is doing something that's not helping you? Do you feel that you've been squeezed? You've gone to school, but there's nothing you can do with the education you're having. Right now, people are graduating with double A's, but there's nothing they have. People like Professor who just died, they can't stay wait to watch the miserable lives going on in the country. So guys, let's not forget about what we are discussing here and where we are heading. We want to clean the system. We want to make sure that anybody after us, anybody who will be coming, will find a better Kenya. That if you go to church, you know you're going to pray to God, and the person praying to you is really an anointed person, somebody who understands the Bible, somebody who understands why you're there, somebody who can make you even feel that there's hope for tomorrow. But not conmen parading in the name of priests and bishops, people coming up with different religions and styles of preaching to just make money out of people. Kenyan society is rotten, and this is why we are doing this. We are not doing this because we just want to come here and talk. No, we are here to make sure that you understand the problem in Kenya must be rectified now, because Kenya actually is is in the midpoint of sub-Saharan. If you don't clean Kenya, the neighbors Uganda won't understand. They won't get the direction of how to do this thing. So we can't break the ceiling if you're dirty with you're carrying all this dirt together. You can't go and vote and then your vote doesn't count and you are told accept and move on, or you'll cause a problem in the country. We want to cause that problem today so that tomorrow there'll be no problem. Guys, that's my remark for now. Let's understand why we are here. The member of parliament who want to fight for their money, they fight for their tumbo and their families, that's none of our business. But right now, we must stop the people like Chebukati who think if you're bribed and given money, then you can turn the will of the people. People are stronger. We are very sharp right now, and we're never going to go against the tribes. It's no longer about the tribes, it's about you being affected as a person. You wake up in the morning and you don't have a direction. You don't know even what to do. That's why we are here, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Assemble. We need a lot of people like you, and you need to be coming here often, because that's especially this evening. In the evening, what we used to do in the evening, we used to just come and just really talk about our country, not the politics, and exactly just what really needs to be done with our country. And so I really want you to be coming out, coming out more often. Don't usikae nyuma huko sana, because at the end of the day, this channel and the people that listen to us, and that's why you see the Kinagauchos coming near now, and even the MPs wanting to come and everything. And even when you hear what Baba says, I mean, they're listening to us, because at the end of the day, you know what? Some of us have sacrificed a lot not to be in your own country, but to come and understand another country, which is something that started a long time. Like I've always given people the history. Tom Mboya is the one that started this thing. And when he was starting to send people out there, people did not understand why he was exporting people. But the people that came back, when you look back into a political divide today, you will realize that at least 75%, at least, I said at least, I know it's more than that, there are people who have traveled out there and seen other places, but then still came back home. Might it be 1 week, 2 weeks, or whatever. But people needed to understand that there's a world out there. And sometimes once you start, kuna ile kitu wazazi walikuwa kusema, kuona mengi, kujua mengi. Na sasa unafunza watu. And there's a lot of people who are very smart that have never left that country. But again, is how we integrate in with our society, and the society is also bigger than Kenya. It's in other countries. How do you relate with your neighbor? How do you relate with Uganda? How do you do your, if you're in the military, how do you do your, security system and all that? So it's just the way that you react with your neighbor, when you're in your house, fancy happy and all that, and how are you guys going to live together, and being realistic. And so sometimes when I found this channel last year, early last year, I was watching this channel and I'm like, wow. And I'm a very political person. Okay. And I really got into it, and I came to understand that this is a place that actually, when you hear Bunge la Wananchi, for them, they can only afford to go to Jacaranda, sit there. But us, we can talk from different worlds of life, and even what wako Kenya, Tukoku, and everything. And you start to understand when Rhoda speaks, when Mami speaks, when you speak, you start to see different things different. Hapa hakuna ukabila ama nini. Or even when Mzalendo comes here, yes, we take a lot from him. Anatusubua akili lakini bado yeye ni wetu, hatuwezi muacha, you know. So but he teaches us a lot, and that is what I believe our country needs, and for us to be realistic in what we are doing. If something is not right, let's call it right. I mean, let's not call it right. Mami, I think you know that you are
talking. It's me I was talking before I sleep because it's very late. I want to talk with the Muzalendo. I'm not finished with the Muzalendo. You know, Muzalendo, can you look at me, Muzalendo? I get very disappointment with you. Very disappointment. You are Luo man. You are the Luo man I have never seen in the Kenya. I know some Luo, they disappear in Kenya, in Nyayo. They have never go back to Kenya. You know Osewe, go and blog the Osewe. Osewe is a politician. He came here in 1990 when it was a problem with the Nyayo. And I'll never go back. And the way you are talking, I cannot imagine. You have been very, very disappointment. The way you yani kuna kitu nakuanga unaficha. You're not real Luo. Stand up. Come on, Muzalendo. Don't bring propaganda here. We want to speak like Kenyans. Usuna daganya hapa sijui nini propaganda za Ruto. Sa Ruto ni nani? You're a big man, you have a big headache, but I don't want to say that word. You know, you need to be real. If Ruto anafanya vibaya, unaongea. Kwa nini unamwekelea hapa? Be the man of integrity. I think you're a very smart man. You're not the way you think. You know, Ruto, he can tell, you know the way Ruto, he's an evil. He has been destroying our country, especially, you don't know how he has been hurting me in my community, how he has been treating my community bad. Ruto, he can tell, because you can get favor, you're a man, he can tell you behave like a woman, or you dress like a woman, because you can preach it, you know, because it's an evil, it's a bad. We need to tumtoe huyo mtu kabisa. Tumtoe, ni mbaya kabisa. I don't know how he came this president. Tumtoe huyo. Mi huyo siku atatoka. Unajua mi baka nywele yangu ikakatika. You are stress. Mi sina nywele hapa ndikatika juu ya Ruto. Ni mtu mbaya, evil, na alifanya na jina la Mungu. Tunajua na watu matuda. We know men of God. The men of God will not prosecute other community. They will not do like the way he is doing. Wani mtu tunataka tumtoe sisi wa Kenya, watu tumwambia tutaki na utoke. Tumpeleke wapi? Wani mtu mbaya sana. Ana prosecute Kenyans, other community, nini. You don't know how I feel hearted with him. Sasa Mzalendo, vile unatulete down, vile mimi najua Luo, si kama wewe vile unajifanya. Wake up, don't sleep. Usifanye karuru, you are very grown up man. That's what I want to say, because I was a little bit disappointed with the way you talk here. Ruto, bro. You don't, even if you like him, speak negative. You cannot speak everything good. You know, fit and unfitilia. Aye. That's what I want to tell, because I say I will not sleep until I talk with you. You have been very disappointment. Ujui, watu wengi na Waluo wengi wamepotea juu ya Nyayo. Na baba mwingine alikuwa anaitwa Gatia. Walikuwa wanapigana na Nyayo 1982. Alikufa huku kama jaji da Kenya juu ya Nyayo. Na alikuwa anapigana na Nyayo akatoka 1982. Nyayo alikuwa anataka na Raila. Sasa unichezea hapa. Uwe realistic. Wewe unaongea si propaganda. Ukiongea kama hizo hasra fan, it's not somebody, it's a fake, it's a scam, because Ruto is a scam. There's nothing called hasra fan. It's a scam, lies for the enemy. It's nothing like that. Kwa nini asisaidia watu wanabebana na mkokoteni? Si kula tu wasema wana mkokoteni. Hao wachakula wanalala hivi. Baba mama wanalala. Kwa nini hizo pesa sisaidie wa mama? Wachekee wa mama wanalala nini? Wao wa mama wanalala nje na watoto. Hawachekee nyumba. Wacha kulala nini nje. Hai, sisi wajinga waliisha. Wajinga waliisha. Hakuna kitu inaitwa hustler fund. That's a liar, it's a scam. I don't believe that. Whether you like it or not, I'll speak here. It's nothing called hustler fund, and I'll speak in. So you guys, thank you for being here with me. and let us speak the truth. There's one guy, he's speaking nonsense. I'm so tired with this guy coming to bring nonsense about GMO. Ati kata tunakulanga GMO. Lies. See, kata is a very rich who like GMO. I don't like that. He's coming to like any come to hapa. Tusi tunatikia watu hapa na tuleta nyuma. We want people who are bring us up. We speak one voice. See what to mentality negative, right? You guys, good night and take care of you. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm still coming here. I'm not fed up, and I'll continue fighting for my country until we get the victory. God bless you all.
Okay, Rhoda, we love you so much. God bless you. Have a good night. And we're still here. We'll be finishing soon if chairman naona kuko nyuma kuna vitu anafanya, but I can see he's supporting me in the back. Chairman nakona tu ukikuja ukiwa ready kuja it's okay. Anyway, Mami, I'm gonna ask you to wendo unajua venye mkururo ilikuwa ikienda. Mimi niko confused leo kwa sababu sikuwa in the first place. So wendo unaweza niambia nani anaenda nani aendi. Rhoda, thank you so much, and thank you for your contribution. We really appreciate you every day that you come here, because that's your frustration is our frustration. Even though we maybe, si lazima mtu akubaliane lakini ama akosane, lakini your frustration is a Kenyan frustration. And that's the whole thing that actually makes us all take some time to come over here and have a conversation, because we do care about our country and we care about the realities of life. If we did not care about anything, we wouldn't even have an idea or even come in here every day from everything that we do. It's just because we care about something. People who don't care about anything, they care about themselves, and all they are going to do is themselves. They'll go to their bedroom, they'll go do what they have to do for themselves. They don't care about anything. But the fact that we come over here and we care about each other, we know each other, and we can actually talk about our country, it means that we do have a heart of caring about something, and not just being people who just leave the country, leave the world to just leave the world. But we live a world that we want to change it, and we take advantage and read where we are going. And we learn from each other every day. I learn so much. Every day I come over here, even when I'm not even here, when I'm just listening. Sometimes I listen from work. I learn so much. I've learned so many books. I've learned so many parts of the Constitution that I never knew. I've learned so many things from people, even the cultural ways of living, from just listening to people who are real. So I do understand and I appreciate so much. And that's why I come here with a humble heart every day. So, Mami, wendo unajua ni nani hajaongea sana, mimi unajua nimekuwa nikikimbia. You tell, tuambie nani, who's supposed to go next? Wakanda, is it you?
I think I'll speak briefly, and then we will be, I think Wamama Kibao. Sorry.
Tumekupata leo. Kumbe unasikizanga country music. Tumekupata leo.
Anyway, I am a country music lover, but that is my call. I have that music on for calls. But anyway, I think I will speak briefly, and then Wamama Kibao was me. I think she was the one coming in because Wakanda spoke, Mzalendo spoke, and Assemble spoke. So I'll just do brief talk, then she can follow. These questions are for you, Kenyan with love, please. Are you ready? They are just brief questions. This Bab Owino, how long were they where they are?
That's a very open question. I don't understand what you mean by that.
I think they've been there for 2 days retreat.
How many?
I think 2 days retreat. They've been there for, I think, 2 days.
Where is that? Where are they?
In Mombasa.
Mombasa.
Mombasa. Okay. Where are they? Okay, Mombasa. Which the day you say they are for 2 days there, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And where do they live? They came from Nairobi to Mombasa, yes?
Yeah, paid accommodation by government.
Yes.
And mommy, before you go on, because I know where you're going, hold on, please. Sorry. With your due diligence, I mean, with your permission. There's something I wanted to say so that you address it as you're going on. There's this thing that I've been saying that, or I've been thinking. It's a case study. This is what we call a case study. There's this, and I think anybody can remind me. There's this MP that was just chosen the other day. If you guys know Okanga, the one of Bunge la Wananchi. There's this MP that was just chosen with nothing. Akona nyole karanga. I know people will tell you who it is. How did he make money to be able to make Okangas or offer Okanga a house in just like since, well, I mean, it was just less than a year ago.
It's called Peter Sirisia.
Sirisia, yeah. How did he make that money? And he was alikuwa mtu chini kabisa. That's why I'm telling you, this parliament has a problem. But Mami, I wanted to throw that to you also, so that you start understanding what we are trying to say, that also the parliamentarians are also taking us for a joke while you're saying that, while you're giving us what you want to tell us, because I know it's genuine. Sorry.
Okay, guys. Where I'm going is now Babu Owino stood there to show us how serious they are for those children who are not going to school, and saying that the money should be put in their account. When they left Nairobi going to Mombasa, kwani hao watu walibebwa na magunia wakajikuta Mombasa? They cannot tell us that they are spending a lot of money sleeping in good beds and eating good food while others are not going to school. That does not make sense. This is something they knew even when they were in Nairobi, that people were going through this pain and suffering. And that is where they would have cancelled that seminar that they were going, or training they were going, and say, no, if that is the case, we have got children who are going to school and they don't have money, let's stop this thing now. Now they are talking after enjoying the life, and now they are out there showing us that they are very concerned about us. I am supporting Kenyan with love, what he said about the money that these people are asking to be put in their account. I don't know whether their accounts or whichever. So that is my point. And that's why I was asking these questions to Kenyan with love. Because these people are with us and without us. That's all I can say. Okay, the other thing is about this government. This government has caused indirect and direct deaths of many Kenyans. And that one has happened without people noticing. Because it's not my brother, it's not my sister, it's not my mother, it's not my son, it's not my daughter. But people have died because of this government. But we don't know. And people don't know. because it's not a close relative, but people have died due to this government that we have right now. Come to think about the politicians, vibrant politicians. They are no longer talking, we don't see them. What do you think they are doing? What do you think they are going through where they are? Simply because some of these politicians had won and they had high hopes of working with their wananchi within their area. They had high hopes of helping their location and building their career. It came to a halt all of a sudden, without knowing, but with high hopes, because they had already seen they have won, but it was overtaken. Now we are mourning Magoha. Who knows what happened? Who knows what was going on in his mind? Who knows what failed for him to die? Contribution of very many bad things has been done by this government. And so many people are going through so much pain because of the government we have right now, currently. But people don't know. We are just talking, but there are people who are nursing wounds, not open wounds. Internally, they are suffering. They are depressed. How many people? That is my problem right now. And when I sit down by myself and I think what depression people go through, how painful it is to have a depressed person, my dear people, it's a tragedy in this country called Kenya. You may see people laughing. It's only that people cannot come and put their problems on the table or put their relative on somewhere that people can see. But people are going through so much. Because of this government, people may take it literally that it's not a big deal. People may say that we'll go over it, let's move on. We are affected differently. We vary. We vary how we get shock. We vary how our shock absorber is created. And that is my point tonight. Maybe there are so many people who are crying right now, not knowing what to do. We are with their loved one. Which hospital can we take them? Can we take him? And it is my problem is to see the government has no plan, the government who is running all around, wasting money, no basics for Kenyans. That's my problem. And that is where I stand. Because what we need in our country is a stability of basics for common mwananchi, so that he or she can be able to sustain herself or himself. Kuna mambo mingi sana inaendelea, lakini hatuelewi, kwa sababu you are not all over the country. And these people, majambazi, they are just laughing, politicking, not being even serious to be in the office. To sit down and think, if this comes, how can we tackle this? If this happens, how can we deal with it? The only thing they have is just going around promising people what they will not even do. And they promises you, and you are left there promised. What are you going to do with that promise? Nothing. So, Kenyans, what are you thinking about Kenya having all these problems, heaping up and getting more and more, and then you'll be left alone to solve your problem? Thank you, guys. That's the question I have tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mami. Thank you, Mami. That's a question that everybody has to ask themselves. And Mom, we really appreciate you so much because you make us think a lot. Personally, I mean, personally, you make me think a lot. Mami, I want to throw some, I want to, and I'm so sorry, guys. Mami, I want to throw a couple of comments over here for you to react to them. And because I want to hear what you're going, and when, na wamama, because I can see you guys, you know, you guys are our elders. And then unajua sisi wengine tutaongea maneno wengine. Mami, there's two I know how I would have reacted to this, but kuna comments mbili ziko hapa. So there's a comment that goes there. Selassie has earned 5 million already in 5 months and has gotten car grants. And then there's another comment. You can look at it at Okitaka. Selassie just did a house for 30K. My friends, stop being petty on this one, with all due respect. And then the house was up to 40K Ndeto. What I'm trying to ask with that is that, Mom, do you think this is the reason that people kill each other if you know you can earn 5 million within 5 months or out of public service? Do you think that is why people feel like what wanna because you know when you go there, you can earn 5 million within 5 months, yet you've been working your whole life and never had 5 million? So what do you think about those comments, and what would you tell those two Kenyans that are talking about that? And after that, I will jump quickly to Wamama, and then I will want everybody else to start talking about. I kind of want us to understand what is public service. I mean, or for us to discuss what is public service as per compared to where you can make 5 million in 5 months and be able to give when you just had nothing. This is a guy that had nothing. So can we talk about what are we talking about? Do we have public service in Kenya, or do we have something that we can, I have to assemble for me, because I know if I go there 2 months nipatie, I can make you nyumba ya 30 yenye hata mimi mwenyewe sikuwa nayo. So do you have something to say about that?
I don't know whether I understood correctly. Salary, like public service, and a politician, or what is the question, please?
Okay, no, I wanted you to react to, okay, let me not ask the question. I just wanted you to react to two comments here. It was when I said Selassie, the new MP that was just mtu wa kawaida. So someone says Selassie has earned 5 million already in 5 months and has gotten car grants. Does that comment, did you get it? And then the other one says,
I didn't see the comment, but go ahead.
No, ngoja kidogo. I wanted to hear what she has to say about that. So actually, okay, let me just explain them to you. So wanasema in 5 months, huyu jamaa ashapata 5 million na hakuna ubaya yake kujengea mtu nyumba ya 30K. I agree. Hakuna ubaya kujengea mtu ya 30K. But if you're going to get 5 million in 5 million in 5 months and in public service, is it public service, or is it why we kill each other because you know you can get that money within 5 million? I mean within 5 months. That's all I'm asking. My question is it the reason that people kill each other over political office? because of the money that is behind it, or is it about public service that we go into political offices?
First of all, you must be a different person when you are killing. Simply because there are those people who take life at a time. There are people who are greedy that they can do the word you used, killing. But remember, money is not everything. To me, I will not do such kind of a behavior of killing somebody so that I can earn 5 million. Because you know you can earn 5 million and then even you don't enjoy it and then you die and leave it there. So it is 50-50 if people decide that they are going for 5 million. But I would not, I personally, I cannot kill someone so that to earn those 5 million. That's the answer I can give. I don't know whether it is agreeable or not. But for politicians who are greedy, they can do anything to earn that money. Did I answer the question, Kenyan, with love?
Yes, Mami.
Somebody else can try that.
You did. Let me see what, ladies first, let me see what Wamama has, and then I'll come to the guys now.
Thank you very much again, and I hope everybody can hear me. I heard that clearly, and one thing I want to say is Kenya and Africa, being a politician is something admired by those politicians. Why? Because it's not what they are going in to do for other people. It is what they are going in to do for themselves. And in fact, although we kill, we fight when we are supporting a certain politician, the fact is, when they are talking to us at the time that they want to get in, they want to show us what their intention is. Not about them, it's about us. But we never understand. It's about them. They know what they are eyeing, their expectations. This is the thing that make them fight to get and kill, to get there, because they know, as you are saying. I like it. I like the way Celestia built a house for what is his name? Yeah, yes. I like, and I was very happy by the way I saw it, and I was happy he did it. And it is good for other members or the citizen to share a small bit of what the MPs and the politicians are getting. That is good. But the fact is, the politicians, the MPs, and even what do you call them? I've been away for a long time, so I don't remember. There is this Meru woman called Kawera. If I can bring that, you can see this is just one woman in Meru per se. They have never had a woman being a governor. But because they are those men who have ever been there, they know what they get always. They are trying everywhere, every way possible to fight this woman to get out so that they can continue earning. So they have got so much bonus. And that is why when they are campaigning, they give you, they tell you, they make you feel like they are going to bring heaven down here. They'll think that when you guys think when they get in, you are going to get out of poverty. But the fact is, it is for their own stomach. They know what they get. And this is the thing. They kill because they know what they get there. And they do not want anybody else, especially those people who have tasted. Those people who have been in politics, who have been MPs, who have been governors, who have been, in charge of some finances and controlling finances, they will not let anybody else be there because they know how they make money. I'll tell you what, When we are complaining, we are talking about the economy, how the economy is bad. We are buying all these. These people, they are just singing with us. But the fact is, they are not feeling the pinch. We are the only people, or maybe myself, I may not be feeling the pinch. Yourself, you might be feeling it. But when you talk about the low person, the person they are down, the real hustler down is really feeling the pinch. But do you think that those people are feeling? No. The moment they taste that, they'll never get out. And somebody who teases to come and take from them, that's why they kill. That is what I will say about that. But maybe my time hasn't come. I was just answering that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mami. We really appreciate. I wanted to go straight to. I wanted to run to Wakanda, and then I also wanted to go to Assemble and Mzalendo on the same issue. But if you guys allow me, that's the same order that I'm gonna keep it, if that's okay. That's the same. I'm gonna keep it until Mdosi Akuja. But Mr. Chaka is here. I wanted him to give us his opening remarks. Alafu bado nitaeka tu ikiwemo itakuwa Wakanda, Mzalendo, alafu tukuja Assemble, if that's okay with everyone, for the same question or for anything that you want to add on to that question, because I think that's a big question on why it happens like that. Yes, Mami. Umesahau kitu?
Yes, I'm requesting whether, because I'm going to get off here because I'm at work, as I said, I'm going to go off, and it's just one thing I wanted to see out of the question. If you could allow me, I would say just something small. Yeah, yes. Thank you. Thank you. First and foremost thing, I've been talking and I forgot kutuma rambirambi zangu kwa Magoha's family. This thing caught me in a big shock. And I'm just praying that God atawaliwaza nyumba the family. The other thing ningetaka kusema tu kidogo, Mami aliongea mambo za sijui kama ni Mami aliongea mambo za exams. Many people have talked about the exam, the A's. You also, the chair, you spoke about the A's. And there is one thing I would want to remind the government, that hata kama hizi exam zimefanywa na they have turned exam to be mockery, because all those A's, when I'm saying that, I know A's are good. They are good, yes. I felt good when my son did and got A's, yes. But this is because alifanya kazi. But I am saying, hii serikali ijue, hata kama wamefanya hizi mitihani wakapitisha watoto ndio wapate, this is not their pride, by the way. They have done the exam, it isn't their pride. It isn't their system. Ni kuwakumbusha, hiyo ni kazi ile Magoha ameacha, ndio wamekuja kufanyisha exams. So it is very important for them to know. Wangengoja na wana haraka sana kufanya kusifiwa, wana haraka. Wangengojea take this system. Hii system yao wameanza, at least waende for a year ndio waseme this is their product. The fact is, hii kazi ni ya Magoha. They are just there less than six months. So this product, wale wamefanya mtihani, seriously speaking, see, there's not product of the government. Kwa hivyo kufanyisha exam na kuonyesha vile wamepita, it is not their effort. Ni kitu tu they just wanataka tu kuchukua sifa, if that is correct, sifa za kazi imefanywa na watu wengine. Kwa hivyo it is very important, kama ni kufanya kazi, wafanye kazi, tuone vile watafanya. Kama tutawaachia wafikishe mwaka moja, walete watoto, wakifundisha watoto na tujue. Now that one thing is, sijui kama, I do not know whether they are going to make it, because one, the teachers are complaining about the pay rise. The doctors are complaining about the pay rise. The police are complaining about the pay rise. But what is happening? The government is only thinking about the things that they themselves benefit from. So I just wanted to say about the Magoha because I forgot about it, and maybe I may not be able to come back before you close. And I wanted to say thank you very much for everybody who have been participating. In fact, I'm very educated now. I've been listening, and thank you so much. You take care and have a good night.
Thank you so much. Chaka tusalimie basi ndio turudi kwa mkururo, bado tutakukuja. Ngoja kidogo. Ma'am.
Sorry, I was waving the lady.
Oh, I thought it was your hand that went up. I was like, sorry. Chaka tusalimia alafu tufuate kamkururo kidogo, nataka hapa tu tukimbie 3 and then we come back to you. Ala. Oh. Chaka. Mombasa vipi?
Asante ndugu yangu Mato. Mombasa tuko salama.
Maji imeteremka, tuko low ama tuko high saizi?
Tuko low ama tuko high? Maana maji ndio yanaanza kushuka sasa hivi. Ilikuwa yamejaa. Na pia vile tuna ugeni huku wa wabunge wote ambao tayari wao washatia kibindoni mapeni. Sasa hivi hapa wananishangaza kusema kwamba hawajaingia kwa training hadi wapewe CDF. Wangekuja Mombasa kwa sababu tayari wanatumia pesa zetu hapo. Wanalala, wanakunywa, wanafanya kila kitu. So wangekatalia huko Nairobi na wale wako Mombasa wakabaki Mombasa hadi hilo jambo lao likatimika, ndivyo tulivyoona kwamba hakika wao wako na mapenzi kikamilifu kwa wananchi. Lakini vile pia nasema waendelee kupigana hapo, hiyo pesa ingie, still bado itusaidia. Itasaidia wale watoto wa maskini, masuala na basari, na vile masuala mengine ambayo yanafungamana na maeneo yanafungamana na maendeleo ya maeneo bunge yale ambao walichaguliwa kwao. But kile ambacho mimi nitakizungumzia hapa pia ni kwamba nafikiri tulikuwa hapa ni kutoa tu tena rambirambi zangu kwa familia nzima ya mwenda zake CS wetu aliyekuwa wa education, na pia niwaombee Mungu awatie nguvu kipindi hiki kigumu. Na lingine ambalo nitaweza kulizungumzia hapa haswa ni kwamba Wakenya wale wazalendo wenye kuzungumza ukweli, it seems kwamba serikali sasa hivi itaanza kuwafuatilia, kwa sababu tukiona kama mtu kama Gaucho aliojitolea haswa kuhakikisha kwamba nazungumzia kuhusu nchi yangu, ameanza kuripoti huko kwenye makesi. It seems kwamba sisi pia wengine hapa tujipange, hasusa sisi ambao tuko huko nyumbani kuhusiana na hii serikali. Ni vile nilizungumza kipindi fulani kwamba utakapokwenda kinyume na Kenya Kwanza, basi you are in for it. Ukishaipongeza basi wewe na kuifagilia, hata kama wanafanya maovu, basi wewe utakuwa uko salama upande wao, na pia unaweza riwadiwa kuwa na kazi. Maana hii ni serikali ya kuzawidi. Unaifagilia au unaipongeza, basi wewe hakika wewe una matumaini ya kuweza kuzawadiwa. Lakini kama utakuwa msema ukweli, basi kwenye hii serikali wewe kwa ni kumuomba Mungu, maana hata na sisi tumeanza kuingia uoga kwamba tusije tukafuatiliwa. Ila tu kwangu mimi namjali Mungu na sababu sizungumzii kwa binafsi yangu, basi nazungumzia kwa umoja wote wa Wakenya, na kuhakikisha kwamba hii nchi yetu inaingia katika hali, inaongozwa katika hali ya usawa, hali ambayo itakuwa haya mambo madogo na ututia waibu yanakomeshwa. Kama ni chaguzi zifanywe, kura mwananchi izungumze, watu wajue kura mwananchi imezungumza. Maendeleo yaje. na tuhakikishe tuna uongozi ambaye tuna mtu ambaye ana utu na kumjali Mkenya, tofauti na hili ambalo tunalishuhudia kwa sasa katika hii serikali. Kwa kakangu Mato, mimi sitochoka kupaza sauti yangu juu hapa, kwa sababu naona manufaa yake sasa hivi, kwamba sauti tunazozizungumza hapa haziendi bure. Sauti tunazozizungumza hapa na mawazo tunayopea hapa ni kwamba hakika yanaanza kuonyesha mifano kwamba hakika yana mashiko, hususa both kwenye kwanza wakiwa wanashangaa na kuanza kuingia wasiwasi, na huku pia tukiangalia Azimio tukiwapa nguvu tena mpya, ndipo sasa tunaanza kuwavutia watu vile kama wabunge ambao wataweza kuingia hapa, jambo ambalo mimi nilikuwa nalitamani kabisa. Maana ndivyo sauti zetu zitakaposikika zaidi na kuingia katika vitabu vya record kwamba kulikuwa na wapiganiaji wa new freedom, na si wengine bali ni Mato, mama yetu hapo Amani, brother zangu wenye wako pale, hata kaka Mzalendo pia nitahesabu kwamba yuma, maana ni vyema pia akishatupa changamoto kiasi, lakini mwisho wa siku tuingie kwamba sisi nasi tumeweza kuipigania nchi yetu kwa kauli na maneno na misimamo ambayo ina maana zaidi katika taifa kuliko mtu binafsi. Kwa hivyo nimeingia mori mpya, nimepata nguvu mpya, kwamba tunavyopaza sauti hapa, hakika sauti hii haiendi bure, na Mungu ataijibu na atajibu maombi yetu, na one day tutakuja to celebrate. I do believe kwamba kuna siku moja tutakuja ku celebrate kwamba haki sasa, freedom kweli haswa tuko nayo. Nendeni mpewe shilingi 100 wanangu hapo, mwende shule sasa hivi. Naona. Kwa hiyo kwangu mimi, ndugu yangu Mato, sitosimama wala sitochoka wala sitochuja hapa wala sitoogopa mtu kabisa, ili mradi anaenda kinyume na anatupeleka visivyo kwa tamaa zake, mimi siungani na yeye. Nitaungana na yule ambaye hakika yuko na maono ya sasa na maono ya vizazi na vizazi vijavyo, kwamba hii Kenya tuingie katika hali ya usawa. Tuache kuingia katika hali hii tunagundulika kwamba ni wakabila, ni waizi, ni watu wa corruption, ni watu ambao hawaaminiki. Hili neno hili linanitia uchungu, ambapo tumejeliwa kabisa na rasilimali Kenya, kiasi kwamba hakika rasilimali yenye tuko nayo hapa, wa Mkenya angekuwa kila Mkenya ana ng'ombe anakamua maziwa kutoka kwa serikali, kila Mkenya anapata hizo 6,000 alikuwa zinazungumziwa na baba. I do believe Kenya ina uwezo huo, lakini wachache wanaona watu wakiingia katika mamlaka, wachache wanaona kabila lao likiingia katika mamlaka, yani wachache ndio wanaofaidi. Siku kidogo mtu amejitengezea mapeni ya kutosha, huyo mtu namuita mheshimiwa na kumpigia salute. Baada ya miaka 5 anarudi sasa si mheshimiwa tena, anatuomba kazi. So nao ni lazima tubadilishe huu mfumo, mwananchi azungumze. Mwananchi ndio mwenye nafasi, katiba imempa nguvu zaidi kuliko ni mtu yoyote hapa katika hii nchi. So sauti sasa hivi ya Mkenya ndio izungumze, ndivyo mtu akiingia katika uongozi ajue nimeleta hapa kutengenezea wa Kenya manufaa, kuwatekelezea ile ambayo wamenituma kwayo kuja kuifanya, kama ni mbunge, kama ni gavana, kama ni rais, yoyote yule. Hapo tutakuwa tumekomboa Kenya yetu na tutaishi ile nchi ya maziwa na nyama tunayoitabiri hapa. But tukiruhusu hawa hawa wanasiasa hawa waungane huko, watupangie kipi cha kutufanyia, kipi wasitufanyie, jamani. Ila mwisho nizungumza hivi, Mato, tunashukuru kwa sababu wakisema hawataki handshake, hapo ndo waliweza kuchoma msitu kutafuta mbio za kinyonga. Maana waliona baba yuko zini, wakaamua kununua wabunge nini, lakini walikuwa wanachoma msitu ili waone mbio za kinyonga. Nadhani sasa washaanza kuona mbio za kinyonga kwa kuchoma msitu. Na kuchoma msitu ni kwamba baba yuko na Wakenya mamilioni. Alitengeza hii record, amesimamia, hajaogopa tangia enza 80s mpaka sasa hivi, hajachuja wala hajachoka kusimamia haki ya taifa. Na ndio bana amekusanya mamilioni ya Wakenya wote kumwamini kwamba that's the only right person anaweza kutuletea manufaa katika hili taifa, na vile vile pia kututengenezea njia ya wale viongozi watakaokuja wawe na muongozo gani kuweza kulipeleka hili taifa mbele na tuondo